Did I start? Okay, I did. Let me see if this works. Okay, I did. Alright. So, wait a second. How do I not operate this? I'm just gonna show you my sins in this world, or this game, or whatever it's called. Basically, I made this world to try out the drug mod. I'll show you my the first family that I made. It was this like whole like world was mainly to experiment with, you know, the drug mod and like whatever and whatnot. But eventually I decided to make like a story thing with my characters. So I'll show you the first family that I made. So basically this family, both of the parents are like drug addicts, and the two oldest kids are also drug addicts. I'll show you them. And basically, in the story, I guess, or whatever, there's like a group of friends, and they're all like pretty normal, even though most of their families are like pretty messed up and like, you know, druggies or whatever. So these two are the parents, and these are the older kids. And this is Aubrey. She's like one of the teens who's in this like friend group that I created. Basically her whole family's like a mess. And she like hates it. She just wants like everyone to get along. She just wants to have a normal family, but you know she can never have that. Um, I'll like show each of the characters, each of like the main characters, I guess, up close. So that's Aubrey. These are her younger siblings who she takes care of because her older siblings and her parents are too busy doing their own thing, which is mainly drugs. So before I like created this storyline or whatever it's called, I made I decided to like get I decided to try out the drug dealer personality trait. So this is the drug dealer. He has this personality trait. The personality trait said use this personality trait only on a sim you don't intend on playing on. So I thought that would have like an effect on the sim, but the sim, like, you know, Jackson, I guess is his name. I don't know, I kind of chose a random name. He like seems pretty normal to me, so I don't understand like what exactly the trait does. But anyway, so I made him and I decided to add another person. So this is his younger sister Jeanette, who is friends with Aubrey, so she's like one of the main. I'm just gonna call like people in like the friend group like the main characters, I guess, of the story that I haven't like formed exactly. She so basically these two, as you can tell, don't have parents. Either their parents died, their parents abandoned them, parents are in jail. I don't know. There could be all sorts of things happening to their parents. I haven't quite come up with that yet. But I will eventually. So I'll show her up close. This is Jeanette. And I also kind of like made personalities ish for all of them. She is a musician. She loves writing and playing music. That's her personality trait. She's not about that drug life, just like Aubrey and the rest of the main characters, I guess. Like they're all like normal, pretty much, even though their families are pretty messed up. Okay, so the next family that I made is the Smiths. Pretty generic last name. The mom has a very generic last name, or name, Sarah Smith. So this is the mom. She's a single mom. Um, she's never been married. She just has like affairs with a bunch of guys. So basically, this is her daughter with some like unknown dad. Her name is Ashley Smith. She's one of the main characters. This is what he looks like up close, and this is another one of Sarah's daughter. But Annie has a different father than Ashley. And Jenna Abbey. As you can tell, she is not a Smith. And that is because she is not related to them. Basically, Jenna is this British girl who used to live in the UK with her grandmother because she lived with her grandma because both of her parents died, I guess. Yeah, they died. And so she lived with her grandma until like recently. Her grandma passed away, and so she needed someone else to live with. And so she knows Sarah Smith because Sarah Smith is Jenna's mom's former pen pal slash best friend. And Sarah, I guess, like once in a while checks up on Jenna to see how she's doing. Sarah obviously knows that Jenna's mom is dead because Jenna told her, and Jenna was like told Sarah like my grandma just died and I don't have anyone to stay with. Basically, I'm an orphan, and Sarah was willing to let Jenna live with her, for as long as she wanted, probably up to until they went to college or whatever. She went to college. So yeah, she moved in. She moved to America. She moved in with the Smiths, and obviously became friends with Ashley because they're the same age, basically. So yeah, that's kind of the backstory to Jenna. She moved in with her mom's former pen pal. Um, Next family that I made, I believe, is this family. So most of the families in this like community are all like pretty messed up, except this family. This family is really like stable, wealthy. They're normal basically. The parents, they look pretty normal, and they have um these two teenage twins, Chris and Carmen. They're both part of the friend group thing. Why is it going to Carmen? Okay, so right now this is just lagging. So Chris, he's gay because I just wanted like a gay person in the friend group. Why not? So yeah, that's what he looks like, and then Carmen is his twin sister. I don't know. I just like pause. So yeah, that's what she looks like. Okay, so Tyler. He also has a backstory. He's adopted. And his biological mother is Sarah Smith. Yeah, shocking, right? So basically, I haven't exactly come up with the reason why Sarah gave him up for adoption, but it like revolves around her not liking the way he looks or the way he is. Either it's because he's a boy and she's just like sexist, or it's because he's racist and he's not like full white or whatever, or he's ugly in her eyes. I don't know. It's one of those really like terrible reasons of why you should give up a kid. So basically, she gave him up because he just wasn't what she was looking for in a kid. So she, um, this family decided to adopt him, and yeah, and obviously later on in the story or whatever, Ashley finds out about Tyler being her half brother, and she like finds out what like a terrible thing her mother did, and so this whole thing goes down between them, and it's a mess. So yeah, that should be interesting. I just have to come up with like what's gonna happen exactly. And so this is Christina. She's another adopted kid. She doesn't really have a backstory because she's not really that important. Wait, I want to show the pets. I forgot to do that because pets are amazing. So yeah, yesterday I got the Cats and Dogs expansion pack, and I decided to play around with it. So I'll show you the two pets that they have. This is Peaches. I mainly adopted her because of her name, not what breed she was. I adopted her. She was adorable, and yeah, I didn't change her at all because like in the Cats and Dogs expansion, you can like change what breed they are. You can like change everything about them. You can change the breed, what they look like. I didn't touch her at all because she's just adorable. Like yeah, she's cute, and I didn't feel like changing her. So this Tofu adopted her because of her name as well. But this one I did change because originally she was the exact same color as Peaches. So when I was playing the game, I was like kind of zoomed out. For some reason, I couldn't tell Tofu and Peaches apart. I know it's weird because Tofu is a cat and Peaches is a dog, but like I couldn't tell them apart at all because they're both brown. So I decided to change Tofu up a bit by making her tan and dark brown or whatever this color is, dark gray, instead of brown like Peaches. So that's what I changed. Her kept the same breed. So honestly, like I can't tell different cat breeds apart. They're all just cats to me, but dogs, it's really obvious if it's a beagle or a husky or a Boston Terrier. Anyways, this is the next family. The whole like family doesn't really have like a backstory to it. Just the parents are messed up, obviously. That's the dad, the mom. This is Jolene. She's another one of the main ones. This is her up close. And this is her older brother, Kevin. Basically what I want. He's in his pajamas right now. So what I want to do is create like a love story between Kevin and one of Jolene's friends, and I'm really leaning towards Carmen right now because they kind of make an unexpected couple. Carmen's like a bookworm, very studious, and he's like really like outgoing, athletic, popular. And basically they like fall in love, I guess. So yeah, that's him. Also, I was trying to like make Kevin and Carmen like start flirting with each other, right? So I made them go through the library because basically like I wanted to have Carmen be his tutor. It's kind of like a tutor student relationship kind of thing, even though they're like the same age. But like I accidentally sent Kevin's dad Gavin in because they would literally look similar. And I sent Gavin to the library and I started making Carmen talk to Gavin. And I like noticed that there was no like romantic like actions you could do, like no flirting or anything like that. And I was like, this is so strange. And then I realized I was making Carmen talk to Kevin's dad, who was like 30 years older than her. And I was like, oh my god, like in real life, like can you imagine if like Carmen was like, oh, I was just like, dang, I messed up big time. So like I immediately like left the library and I didn't save whatever friendship they are forming, I guess, because they were forming a friendship because I was making them talk, but I couldn't get them to like start being romantic towards each other until I realized like, haha, this is the dad. Anyways, I got 3 dogs. There's Nugget. There's a little adorable little puppy. This is Angel. I changed her up a bit. Oh, actually, I changed her up a lot. I don't know. I kind of randomly selected her. I just didn't like the breed she was because I think she was too similar to Peaches, so I wanted like a completely different type of dog breed. It wasn't the same dog breed as Peaches, but it was very similar. It was brown, just like Peaches, and I was like, no, I want to be a little unique or whatever, different from the other dogs, so I made her this Keeshond breed. Originally she was like a different color. She was like that brown and like a lighter brown, and I changed the lighter brown to white because her name is Angel and I wanted her to have some white to it. And then this is the third dog, Nina, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm not really sure. This is Nina. She's a cute little Alaskan Malamute. I don't know how to pronounce that. Yeah. So those are those dogs. And then there's just one more family left. It's this family. Okay, so basically, this is Grandma Maria. She's the grandmother of these four, and she's the mom. Maria is the mom of Karina. Karina and Ron are obviously together, and they have these four. Tanya, which is one of the main characters or whatever. This is what she looks like up close. That's Tanya. And these are her younger siblings. Ken, Annalise, and adorable little Rose. She is so cute, in my opinion. Just look at her. What's even more adorable is she's twinning with her mom. They're both wearing camo, and I just think it's so adorable. Anyway, so the backstory to this is, as you can see, Tanya's a teenager. Karina is a young adult, and Maria is an adult. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is Karina was a teen mom when she had Tanya. That's why they don't have such a big age difference. And Maria was a teen mom. And yeah, so she had Karina when she was a teen, and that's why she's only an adult and not an elder, and Karina's only a young adult and not an adult. So basically, yeah, Karina has like an unknown father. But Tanya's father can, stuff around, I guess. And, they had 3 other kids. Yeah. Yep. And those are all the 6 families. Well, technically it's 7 because Jenna isn't really part of the Smiths. So that's kind of like 7 families. And there are 8 main characters. Tanya, Jolene, Carmen, Chris, Jenna, Ashley, Jeanette, and Audrey. So, yep, that's all for this live video. Just a little introduction to my Sim. I'm gonna try to progress this story more, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with the story. Maybe I'm gonna write it up, but that would be really boring if I would just write about the other backgrounds and whatnot and the personalities. But I'm gonna try to involve some drama in it somehow. Yeah. I obviously have to think of what it's gonna be about, but yeah, I'll try to come up with something. I'm gonna try to write a story about these characters. So yeah. Anyways, that's all for this live. It wasn't much, just introducing my Sims. Yeah, subscribe if you want to see some more live videos with my Sims, or if you want to see me making episodes. Oh, instead of writing stories, I can maybe make episodes or whatever. That could be cool. Like some people do. Anyways, that's all for this video. Bye guys. Or not video, live stream thing. Bye guys. See y'all. Subscribe if you want to see more Sims content.